I remember bringing him into sick kids. We noticed a little bit of yellow in the corner of his eyes. All of a sudden, the door opened, probably 2 or 3 doctors and the nurse sort of speaking to me, and they had a bunch of paperwork. Your son is one of the sickest kids in the hospital, and he needs a transplant. Right. Yeah. There was no information. There was no, this is a result of this. So it was, testing was coming back as negative. So we didn't even have any rational explanation of why this was happening to our little boy. Living donation was introduced to us, and this urgency for him and for his life was, we likely don't have time to wait for a deceased donor, and living donation probably was one of our only options. There was no question. I was his mother. I was going to be a match. And that's what it became for me. I just knew I was going. I knew I was going to be a match, and I knew I was going to have to do this. I suppose that's a mother's intuition. You just know. They had never completed testing that quickly. So there was also this pressure from their side of, how are they going to get me through the system and the number of tests required? I mean, this isn't something that's like, hey, we might have got it wrong. Like, they need to know that I'm actually this is going to be successful for them. These people save lives. And they go home like regular people. They're not. They're superheroes. Every single person that touched our case, every single person that filed our paperwork, they saved my son. And I'm sure they don't go home and tell people about that. I'm sure they don't boast. But it's their impact. Like, these people do incredible work. I have no doubt, the coordination that it took to make this happen. And it was the people literally sitting behind the desk who, received a piece of paper to try to fit me in to get that MRI. It's those little things that all had to happen. Every single person who coordinated it. And I'm sure that person didn't realize on that day that MRI was saving it from Catherine. And that's the truth. Like, we just don't know what we're being faced with. So it's moments like that, and to every single person that contributed, thank you. Thank you. After I finished the MRI, the pressure of getting back to JP. So they let me out of the MRI, and I was in a sweater because I'd come through the tunnel, and I didn't want to wait for a porter. That's how urgent it felt. I needed to get back to sick kids. And I wasn't sure if I was getting a porter. I literally ran out of a back door. I was at the back of Princess Margaret Hospital, and I felt like I was in a movie at this point. I didn't even know what direction I was facing, and I'm assuming he was a surgeon at that point, and I remember calling out to him and saying, "Excuse me, I need to know where sick kids is. I have to get back to my son." So he pointed me in direction, and this is late November. It's freezing cold outside, and I am running down to try to find the hospital. And this is COVID. So the doors that I wanted to get in weren't open. I had to go all the way to Elizabeth Street. And I ran into that hospital, and there was Michelle waiting for me with my little boy. And the first thing that she said to me is, "I think you did it, Mama. I think we're going tomorrow. And I think that Dr. Cottrell is on his way to tell you that we're going." And that, for me, was like winning the lottery. And, she waited with us, and she was so there. And then there he came, Dr. Cottrell. And he said, "We're a match." They didn't even have ORs booked. And this was now 7 o'clock on Monday. They didn't even have ORs booked. And he said, "We're going. I need you to be ready." He explained what was going to happen. Sort of overnight, they were going to take me, they were going to start my surgery, because still, even until they opened me up, they didn't have a guarantee of what they were going to find. Once they understood that everything was good to go, then they would start JP's surgery. And I asked him to do JP's surgery, and he was willing to do it. And I knew Michelle had told me she was going to be with my baby, even though I was going to be ushered off to surgery. And Michelle, Dr. Cottrell, and the team, I knew that he was going to be okay. So I was incredibly emotional on this narrow OR table, and sort of realizing that I was about to do this big surgery, and every nurse, every doctor in that OR came and touched my shoulder, which was probably the only thing exposed at that moment, and told me I was going to be okay and that my son was going to be okay. And that human side of something that, again, could have been very surgical and could have, it wasn't. There was these beautiful people who were surrounding us with their love, with their comfort, and their genuine care for us. And just sort of closing my eyes and falling asleep to the resident doctor on the team saying, reminding me, think beautiful thoughts, think of you and your son, so that you wake up happy. 3 months ago, I donated a portion of my liver to save my son, and here I am. We can do anything. And that scar represents for me that anything is possible. When we have these moments where we think that like things are overwhelming us or life is happening, I got this. Because if I can do that, I can do anything. And that's what these scars represent. If things are going to happen to us, embrace these scars. They somehow made us better. We did something I never thought we were going to have to do. And it reminds me every day, first of all, how beautiful life is, how precious these moments are. And I will always come back to gratitude. And that's a reminder of like, I am so grateful to be here. And I am so grateful that my son is here. That kid is destined for greatness. And I think he's a bit wild. He's wise. He's so happy. He has this lightness to him. And he's fierce. And again, when I think of these qualities of elegant and grace, he navigates the world in such a raw and honest way. And he is so present. When he is there, he is there. And I think that just makes him brilliant. And I know as his mom, of course, I'm going to say that, but he has this energy about him that's magnetic. And he isn't afraid to show the world when he's there.